Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The New Normal with Chantelle and Lee.
Hello, everybody.
What we got today?
I'm happy today.
Yeah, because you got good lighting. I'm over here washed out.
Good lighting, and had the trouble with my laptop a few days ago. Now it's been delayed. You know, when you have a big problem, the problem is so big, you don't want to suffer the consequence. Even you can't resolve it, even if it's just delayed, you'll be happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Okay, well, glad we're back up here and running.
yeah. So I was watching Valuetainment.
Yes, Mr. Patrick BET.
Patrick
David or
BET.
something. Yeah. I don't know if I don't know his last name.
Yeah. So one thing he was talking to a psychologist about video games. And
Mm-hmm.
the psychologist said boys like to play video games because it gives them a sense of exploring and proving themselves. And also Patrick said back in the day we play Super Mario Brothers. And when kids play too much video game, you gotta tell them, oh, you need to go outside and play basketball and soccer because it's more legit in their eyes. You know, like people play basketball and soccer on TV, and they make money, so it's a more of a profession. But
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, video game is a whole industry now, and there are kids who play video games for millions of dollars. How can
Yeah,
you tell
esports.
kids that with your understanding of Super Mario Brothers as video games, how can you tell the kids to not play video games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I just think that like before I would be like, yeah, why would you be playing video games and that's a dead end, you're not going anywhere. But now with how the industry is revolutionized, if you will, well, it depends on how you like categorize sports. I think because esports, I don't really know if I don't really think that esports is like physically, I don't think it's a sport. I think sure mentally it's a sport, but like the traditional sense of like being physically active and going about doing something or achieving a goal, I mean it's not there. I don't really know like when you use your fingers and like all that stuff to play games and or like type on the keyboard is such a sport, but I'm glad that gaming is not just gaming in a waste of time. I think that it's like it's good that it's being highlighted now as something reputable to do. So even like Twitch or like esports is a whole organization.
Would you categorize things like chess or poker and things like that as sport?
Yeah, see, I don't personally, I don't think that doesn't hit the traditional uh you know traditional description of a sport. But I know that it is like it is this competitive thing still. So I'll give that. Like, of course, it's competitive.
Yeah, the lines are more and more blurred.
Yeah.
But the problem comes when your kids are choosing to play video games all day. What are you gonna do?
You're asking me if my kids are playing video games?
Yeah.
Honestly, if that's what they want to do and like they really find enjoyment out of playing video games, they sure as hell need to be the best. That's all I'm saying. Because they're not going to be sitting there for 12 hours a day and they're not the best. Like, what are you doing?
But you don't have to be the best though. Like if your kids are obsessed with reading, let's say, they read 12 hours a book all day, they're getting better than they were before, but they're not the best reader in the world, you know?
Well, I'm sure with how many, excuse me, hours they're putting into reading, they become a better reader every day. Like,
Yeah,
regardless if they don't want to be a reader or not, like the amount of time that they're spending reading books will naturally allow them to be better in reading.
yeah. What if they are passionate about video games and they've been putting in a lot of time and they're better than they were before, but they are nowhere near the best in the world.
I mean, if they can still, like, if they're still part of the game or they're still, a part of the league, then, they still have a chance, sure, I'll let them.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like, these types of things, I don't want to be dictating my kids' future necessarily. Like, I think that it's also good if they make their own decisions, make their own mistakes, and they get to learn. Not saying that gaming is a mistake, because you never know where one who games can bring them. Like, there's a lot of, even if they're just recreational, there's a lot of people who are Twitch streamers and they're pretty successful. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, if my kids are able to do something that they really enjoy and can calculate the longevity of them doing it, then it'll be worth it for them to experience.
My concern is video games is going to evolve to a thing that neither of us will understand.
Exactly. So
As
that's why
the
what I'm trying to highlight is, if they are able to make it something that's sustainable for themselves, even if I don't understand like how older people don't understand YouTube and creators right now, then, let them pave their own way. And if they, go through their own obstacles and roadblocks, they will be able to go through it themselves and learn.
yeah, I'm a lifelong gamer. I've been playing video games since I was a kid, and I'm still playing video games.
Yeah. And
But
you enjoy it, right? Like, recreationally, it challenges you in different ways. Like, why do you like gaming so much?
um, initially, I like gaming mostly because it gives me a very quantifiable way of proving, like rewarding my work. Like in school, you work hard and whatever, you don't really see it translating to results. But in gaming, if like it's very clear. You the games I played before was always the games you level up. Like you work hard on killing minions or whatever, and you level up. You see yourself putting in 1 hour's work, and you see, um, you know, like I feel steady progress in a formulated way and with fair competition. Like it's a very structured system, and you compete in this structured way. I enjoy competition and enjoy steady progress, and things like that.
Well, I guess it depends on the game. Because for your game, like, do you want to say what you play?
Right now,
Yeah.
right now I play League of Legends,
Yes.
but this
So
is not a typical game I would usually play back, before. This
what
is
would you usually play then? What would you usually play?
well, before I used to play Chinese and Korean games, but the equivalent in North America is like World of Warcraft, you know.
Yeah.
And the games I played were the games where you given tasks, you go kill monsters and you level up. Like
Yeah.
there's a direct competition. It's kind of like the business world, except in business, there's so many creative ways for you to make money, even if you don't work hard and you're not good at business, you could make more money. But in those games, there's almost like this is very limited creative ways to level up. You have to put in the hard work, and I can outwork most people, and I feel good about it.
Can you though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So if you were running on the treadmill, you would be the last off the
Mm.
treadmill. Will Smith talked about this. He was like, I'm so competitive, or I'm willing to work so hard that the other guy beside me on the treadmill, I'll be able to outlast them.
Mm. I know a lot of competitive people who are just competitive even if there's nothing at the end. I'm not that type of people.
Hmm.
Like I have that part too, but then mainly when I'm competitive and outwork other people is when I see the end result is worth it for me. But yeah, but mainly though, I'm trying to say I've gained a lot of benefits from video games. I know like you can, there's a lot of good sides to video games, but the video games that I have played up to this point is very different from reality. Whether I'm playing World of Warcraft or League of Legends or whatever, I can play the game, get up, go outside, go to the park, go on the mountain, and then be like, oh, that was the game and this is reality.
Hmm.
But then games are more and more merging into reality, similar, more and more similar to reality.
Give
What
an
if
example of a game.
um what's that game where you do tasks by killing people and you're like a gang member, you steal cars? What's that game called?
Uh, oh, I forgot. Car theft?
Yeah, something like that. Something auto theft.
Oh yeah, it is auto theft.
Grand
Auto theft.
Auto,
Yeah,
Grand
yeah.
Auto, something that I don't
Something
play
like
it.
that, not car theft.
Yeah, games like that with more technology advancement. What if, like right now, my world is grounded on reality. And when I'm playing a game, I'm like, oh, this is a video game that exists in computers. But what if the kids are introduced to mountains and parks and rivers inside of the games first? They've never been to actual mountains in real life and rivers and parks, but their world is grounded in video games. And then when they go to mountains in reality, they think, oh, this is like made up. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, but I don't think they would think that, like, oh, this is made up. I think it's like the other way around. I think the more like crucial thing is if, let's say their world that they chose is at the mountain, and then they're killing things. Um, it's concerning if they're actually on a mountain and then remember what they're playing in the game, as in they have to kill things. Like, I think it's like kind of
But
corrupting kids' brains.
that's what I'm saying. That their reality is based on the video game
Yeah,
they're first introduced to. Before they're
yeah,
introduced to reality, they're introduced to virtual reality first. And the
yeah. That's
virtual
a big
reality
red
is
flag.
more of a reality to them
Mm,
than actual reality. This problem never existed when I play games because
yeah,
none of my games were realistic enough. The technology is
that's
not there.
true.
And
Yeah,
and when I was growing up, the technology was advancing gradually as I had to spend still most of my times in real life.
yeah,
You know, what if this generation coming up, 90% of the times they spend on with a VR headset on and they never been introduced to reality and that's their reality. That's a very big concern of mine. And what what amplifies it is I cannot keep up with these games.
mhm,
Then I wouldn't be able to know when that point has occurred, even,
yeah.
you
Well,
know.
that's a big point, is the mental health aspect of playing games for long periods of time. I think it affects one's mind so much. And I think that I'm not sure necessarily, but like I don't know if there's any correlation. I'm guessing there is between people who go through like mass shootings for no reason. Like I don't know if that's like connected, but logically, I think that it might have something to do with, you know, the types of content one is consuming.
I don't think it's connected too much right now. But the problem is,
But there might be some cases, like
yeah, but like the technology is not there yet today. And also these
that's where
people,
it's heading, I feel like.
yeah, also these people who are adult today, they went through the life without, you know, games and internet and
Yeah.
stuff. Like when they were a kid, they had to go outside and play with stones and slides and, you know, like in parks and
But
stuff. But
yeah,
this
but even if,
upcoming generation, they they were born with iPads.
yeah,
That's crazy, you know.
but even if those who are creating these games grew up with games, it's not as realistic. Like there's still a difference
Yeah.
between what they experience in the game and then what they experience in real life. Now I look at the games and I was like, whoa, this looks so real. This is animation. Like it's crazy how much the graphics have changed.
If you just look at TV shows and movies, they a lot of I don't know what's the word, AGI or something. It's like
CGI?
a no CGI. Yeah, it's just like they they put like special effects into movies
Yeah,
and shows. You can't tell
yeah,
the difference.
yeah.
Imagine
It's
they
so
apply
good.
all of those technology into a video game and you're just a character in a TV show type of thing.
Hmm.
You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And but at the same time, I wonder if I'm a boomer, you know, like
Oh, you're
back in the
definitely not a boomer. I think you have boomer tendencies, as do I. Like
no,
I
I'm
feel like I'm
not,
a grandma.
yeah, I'm not literally a boomer, but I'm just saying, like, am I now getting to the older generation where back in the day the boomers were like, oh, you shouldn't play video games, it's not, you know, it's not legit, da, 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 da. And then we were like, no, this is internet thing, it's the new normal, you know. And now I'm like, oh, I'm concerned, what if they spend all the time in virtual reality? Maybe the upcoming generations are like, you know, spending all your life in virtual reality is the thing, is the new normal. Like you're just old, you're just a boomer, you know.
Yeah.
Like I based on what's good from my upbringing and what I know. And what I know is you should know reality as reality, and it's the base, and then virtual world should be the like a bonus, the extra.
Yeah.
What if in their generation flips upside down and, you know, virtual world is the dominant world and reality is you know, like I'm just not up to the times to understand that, and I think it's bad, but maybe that's how the just how life goes, you know, how it will evolve.
I'm just trying to think how sustainable that is. Like having a machine connected to your head and to your body, and then you like, do you have to have a timer when to eat? Do you need to have a timer when you need to go, you know, use the washroom? Like if everyone's living in this world and then there's some sort of like right now there's FOMO with real life stuff. Could you imagine the FOMO of like missing something in the virtual world? Like I just don't know how sustainable that is. Like
You know, there are
I
people
just don't, I
already,
can't grasp the concept right now, really. Why would anyone want
yeah,
to
that's
like
what I'm saying,
rebel
you're a
about that?
boomer.
No, but that's what I like
Right.
logically though, like what could, maybe if you're like fucking climbing a whole mountain or whatever, like, but I just don't understand.
Right
Like,
now, right now, there are people who are buying uh, for millions of dollars, buying virtual real estate right now. How do you feel about that?
Well, good for them, and they see something I don't. That's for sure. Like, yeah, they got a strong vision for something I don't see right now. And I might just totally sound ignorant and like, the whole thing, but like honestly speaking, that's where I think it's not there yet. Like, I don't know how far into like the future it would take to implement this stuff, but I don't think we're that close yet. Like, let alone autonomous driving. Like, we're not there yet. Like, we're almost there, but we're completely not there yet, like.
Yeah, just I'm on one side is concerned, but on the other side, I'm like, but every generation before us were concerned. Oh, the next generation don't know anything. They're heading to a weird direction. They like internet. They wanna, film videos and put it on the internet. What are they doing? Every
Yeah,
generation's like this. So,
but I think internet's more viable. Like, internet is used as a source of information. Like,
but to you, to the
okay.
to the generation before you, they didn't think like this, you know?
Are
And
you
what if
kidding me? Like, could you imagine having to get information through a freaking encyclopedia? That's so, like, thinking back, I'm like, wow, that's so painful. I have to go through so many pages just to get to this topic. Now we have the internet. And,
that's what the kids of this generation will think? Like, what?
yeah.
You have to go on a plane and fly somewhere? How painful is that? You can just put on a VR
Yeah,
goggles
so
and
that's the only
transport
thing
somewhere.
that I could see that it makes sense is that it could transport you to a place that you haven't been before and then all this stuff. Okay. But I don't think
If
like
you could
as a
be anywhere in the
24/7
world, where
world.
would you want to go?
What's that?
If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be?
I don't know, somewhere cool. Like, that's hard to get to. That's hard to view, maybe like Egypt.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, like, and seeing the mummies and stuff and the pyramids. Yo, that would be so cool. Cause like it's hard to get to. Like, being in the desert. Oh man, I couldn't imagine living in the desert for that long. I'd probably die. There's no water anywhere. There's freaking hallucinating about water you know, in the horizon. That's messed up. I watch movies like that. I'm like, I don't know if I could survive that. And I already have an issue with like hot weather. Like, now I'm learning from tennis. Now I'm learning to enjoy the hot weather, but even hotter than that, I don't know.
Okay, let's hear a simple conclusion from you. So, two questions. A, at what age would you want your kids to start playing video games? And B, how long would you want them to play per day or per week type of thing?
Mm, it's a hard question.
Well, so you can change your mind in the future, but just like to gauge where your thinking is at today.
Um, I think I would want my kids to start, well, like simple video games, like a video game that will help their education.
Or
Like,
when
connecting shapes together, connecting letters together. I'm all for that. I'm all for the educational games. Yes,
or
please.
or at what age would you give them an iPad? What about that?
Um, with parental controls, they would get an iPad.
You're turning around to 180. In the beginning, you're like, oh, I want to give them all the freedom they wanted. They can
No,
do.
this is for educational purposes. Like, obviously, you don't want a kid holding an iPad and have free for all, you know, access to the internet. That's gonna corrupt the kid's mind.
Okay. Answer the question. What age and how long? Okay. Stop
I would
skirting
say
around.
age 7, 30 minutes. That's all you got.
30 minutes a day?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You
Okay.
get to choose, they get to choose how they want it. Because I know when they're age 7, and they're at school, all the dumbass kids are gonna be like, oh, my mommy and daddy bought me an iPad. I can do this, I can do that. And I'm gonna show my kid like there's so much more in the world than your iPad. Like, kids don't even know that they could travel. Kids don't even know that they could learn. Kids don't even know what a playground is.
Are
Mm-mm.
you are you the type that are for kids doing chores to earn minutes to play iPad?
No, not at all. Listen, they can clean their room if they want the room clean and want to live in a clean environment. They don't have to bribe. I don't have to bribe them to live a good life. That's up to them. I will show them too. We talked about this before, and I think this is a great idea. I can show them what, not cleaning your room looks like, and then, go on the street and be like, listen, this guy doesn't have a room. So like, wouldn't you want to keep your room and, keep it tidy? Or you can like live in a box outside. Go outside and camp in a box, see how you like it.
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of people do that, and the problem to me is that you're sending a signal to the kids saying doing chores is bad. You need to, do the bad stuff so you can get rewarded for
Yeah.
the iPad minutes, and that's what's good.
And that's not real life. I think like now, okay,
It's upside down.
if I grew up that way, could you imagine? I'd be working for all these things so that I could add minutes, or if I could get this thing. But then at the end of the day, like, it
Yeah,
doesn't really do any. I don't feel fulfilled. Like, this is the stuff you should be doing every day. What makes it any different that you're bribed to? Like, I don't know. I just don't get it.
yeah. Let's go back to
What
ourselves.
do you think though? What about you? I need to reverse the question back because you keep picking my brain, but I need to pick yours too.
On what? Ask the question.
So, similar question to yours, same question as yours. At what age do you want your kid to have an iPad, and for how long can they use it?
Well, granted that actually, I think I'm okay with them having iPad young, but not access to the internet.
Yeah.
So if they can have fixed apps that we know what they do and they want to play on them, no problem.
I'm leaning towards the educational like games. Like, there's so much good educational games
You're the
now.
type of you're the type of mom they're gonna make games boring, and this defeats the whole
No.
purpose. It's like, I want you to read, but only the what's it called, encyclopedia.
No.
No.
Hey, don't knock on that. Elon Musk said, find an encyclopedia and read it, skim through it.
Yeah, but then you gotta develop their interest by letting them read fictional novels and things
Okay,
like
better
that.
yet, they get to have a full room of books that, is curated by me and, by the greats themselves, like Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, etc. Like, their favorite books.
I don't
They
think
can,
that's how it works.
but then it's right there for the kid to choose. So, like,
Yeah.
if they're
Well,
stuck in a room with books, like, they have no other choice than to read the book.
like for example, if Fruit Ninja helps them to get interested in technology and
Are you kidding me? Fruit Ninja? What does that do for your brain?
or what's the Angry Birds, I
No.
I don't know many iPad games. This is the only ones I know, but I'm just saying,
Instead,
even
I would put them through coding.
no,
They
stop
can
it,
make their
stop
own game.
it, stop it.
No, seriously. Microsoft workshops, shout out to Microsoft stores. Now we don't have them, but like, there
Not,
used to be workshops for youth and they made their own games.
oh my God, forget about kids. If you just by hearing you right now, I don't even want to have an iPad for myself. You
Good, I'm
made it
doing my
sound
job.
so dreadful. Come
No,
on, have a
no.
little fun. Play some Angry Birds and Fruit Ninja and whatever.
Okay, if they're harmless games like Fruit Ninja, fine. Look at all the fruit, cut them all you want. Can you do them in real life too?
They increase your hand-eye coordination, your
I'll give you a tennis ball and you can have better hand-eye coordination.
your
How about that?
iOS proficiency, all of that. Yeah, I think it's cool. But yeah, just Yeah, I
So
think,
at a young age, but with no internet, for how
yeah,
long?
as long as they want.
Oh my.
Yeah. With the exception that they cannot play when they're doing real things. And then I'm gonna
So
take them.
I'm just gonna bombard them with so many real things they don't even know what they don't even want to play with the iPad. So while all their peers are gonna be like, oh, I just did this and I played this, my kids are gonna be like, I just did this on the tennis court, I just did this on the mountain, I just did this, and you know, all the
Yeah,
real stuff.
yeah, that's my strategy. My strategy is to do real things with them and to show them why real things are fun too, and let them choose. Like, oh, I'm not playing iPad right now because I'd rather to be at the park or playing tennis or whatever, rather than, oh, this is artificial ban that you can only get to play 30 minutes. Because, like, for example, I get to play video games all day if I want to, but then I don't choose to, you know. It's like there's no ban on me playing video games for a certain amount of time. There are days I choose to not play any video game because I rather to go outside or just to do this and that. And that just, like, instill the interest and basically like giving real world a chance to compete instead of banning them from virtual reality. I'm just showing them, oh, these are the things in real life that you can do that are fun, and those are the things you can do in virtual that are fun. Now you get to pick, but there's a trade-off.
Yeah. I think there's a consequence to everything. So I can tell them that, okay, sure, you can go on the iPad, but I want them to think critically for themselves, like, what value am I getting out of this? Like, kids are gonna be kids, and I want them to be kids, but at the same time, that like is part of their learning. I don't want to impede their learning because they're so caught up on the iPad. Like,
It's difficult for you to make that judgment because, like, one of the biggest arguments, oh, it's not healthy, but reading books 12 hours a day is not healthy either.
that's
but
true
people are
too.
but people are okay with that,
No,
like
I wouldn't be okay with that either. That's why I want to mix. Like, you need to have educational time. You need to have physical activity time. You need time to just have fun and not think. That's okay. But I think too much of something is bad. Like, and that's just with life. Too much of anything is bad.
but that's who they are. That's what made them them. All of these smart people in the world, they all say, oh, I went to the library when I was young and I read books all day. Are you gonna cut them off? you know
No, but I think that when they're growing up, they don't know exactly what they want. So
Well,
exposing
they
them,
did. What do you mean? They
no,
were
they
able to
don't.
do
They
anything they
don't know
wanted.
what
They
they want
chose to go to the
exactly.
library.
Was that?
They were able to do anything they want. They chose to go to the library to read books because
No,
that's
they
what.
don't know what is out there. You
Oh
have to
my
show
god.
them.
Oh my god.
What do you mean?
I don't think you're able to pull Warren Buffett out of the library and show anything to him that will interest him more.
But he figured it out over the years. That's what I'm saying.
Or no, he started when he was a kid.
Okay.
Or go to the opposite. Uh, Somebody like, I don't know, maybe Bill Gates did. I don't know if he did, but that's just as an example. If Bill Gates started coding and, you know, putting together computers at age 14, that's what he's into. He did that all day. It's not healthy, but that's who he is. What are you gonna do? Cut him off? Be like, nah, like go, play basketball. He's not designed for basketball.
Okay, well, if my kid wants to do a certain task or a certain thing, 12 hours a day, I hope that when I ask them what their goal is, what they're doing, they'll be able to articulate something productive to me.
No, no, oh my God, you're taking the fun out of everything. That's
What do
where
you
it all
mean?
starts.
Okay, sure. How do you go about this then?
You let them.
How do you know when is is hurting their health?
When it's not their choice.
Like,
There's a survey that was done. It was like a leak. Executive from Facebook leaked this research they've done, and it said, I don't remember the exact number, but it's maybe like 30% of teenagers they asked said, I don't want to be on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, but I cannot stop. Like I just automatically go there. I cannot stop myself. That's when it's bad. But if they're actively choosing it, then it's their choice. I don't see that how it's so bad. But yeah, but this is the whole point I've been trying to make for the first half of the video is the world is changing in the ways that we don't even know, and we're just judging it based on when you put something into a hobby category, just like video games 10 years ago. Now it's a education or mastery, whatever you call it. Like it's
it's not
so.
education or like.
And when you say, oh, as long as they can support themselves, and you know, having being able to make money from it. What if in 20 years money is not a thing anymore? Then how are
I
you
would
gonna?
love to see that.
Yeah,
I would be first in line to see that. That would be so interesting to me.
that's honestly my belief. Maybe not in 20 years, a little longer than that, but I honestly believe that money won't be a thing anymore. Not
Ryan,
as
why do you think this? I think this is a whole different episode then if we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, not as how we know it today. It still exists, but not how we know it today.
Why people are going to be trading gigabytes for their upload? I'm talking about upload Amazon Prime. Watch it. Talking to my subscribers, talking to any listener, or talking to any viewer.
Just plugging books and movies left and right.
Yeah, because it's like giving a greater understanding of where I'm coming from.
Yeah. So I think in the future trade wouldn't exist anymore because everything is it's going to be so easy to make.
I don't think this is true, but okay.
Why do
How do
you
you think people are going to continue living life if there's no such thing as trade? Because we started out this way. I'm saying the cavemen started from, I'll trade this rock with this your other rock of yours. Okay,
because
great. There's an exchange. I'll trade this beans for your rice. Okay.
Yeah.
And then now it's like I'll trade this dollar for this, this item.
Because
What are you trying to get at?
Because you only trade because the resource is scarce. You don't have beans, I don't have rice, so we trade. But one day, this might be sooner than people think, is what if you can press a button and print anything you want at virtually no cost? Then you don't
So
need to
the
trade.
resource that's going to be more scarce is going to be water. It's going to be oxygen. It's going to be oil.
No, you're going to be able to print all of them.
You can print water, you can print oil, you can print oxygen.
Yeah.
You can print electricity to run your Tesla.
Yes. You can print a Tesla. That's getting closer and closer to what Tesla is actually doing right now. They're like before it's 1,000 parts, they put it together. Now it becomes a big casting machine. They just cast it one time, and then it's kind of like a toy car. It's not quite at printing technology yet, but it's getting closer to there. And we have I told you about this offline. David Freeberg. He started a company called Canna. He's trying to make a machine where through software you can print out any drink you want with just water. And that's gonna be the same for medicine, for printing anything. Like you have a machine, you're gonna press it, it's gonna print a car for you. You press it, you're gonna print drink, you press it, then what are you gonna need the money for?
That's cool, but how much is the machine going to be? That's what I'm saying. The poorest of the poor cannot afford this thing. So basically, you're saying all the poor people, all the people who cannot afford anything, is just going to, not live anymore. Their currency is going to be gone. Like, I don't think this is the case.
You don't need to be able to afford it because you can make it at no cost.
Who's going to make it at no cost? You think Friedberg is making this for nonprofit purposes?
No, because the technology is not there. There's still a cost in making it. In the future, there will be virtually no cost.
I don't think this is true.
It's kind of like there are
And that
certain
makes everyone in the same playing field. All millionaires, all billionaires, all millionaires and billionaires do not want to be in the same playing field as people who are not on their same playing field. Like, I don't think so. And we see this now. That's why they buy jewelry. That's why they buy shit that don't matter, because they're on a different playing field.
they're buying jewelry because jewelry is not unlimited. You don't see them buying air. You don't see them buying
Oh,
whatever.
they would buy air if air was limited. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
When
what
the
I'm saying.
supply is down, the demand goes up. And when
Yeah.
demand goes, huh?
That's what I'm saying. People would only buy things. There's a price for it when it's limited. When
Everything is limited. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how you think that there would be no currency.
then you just don't. You're not into the technology field like I am. Or
Carino, don't be putting yourself on a high horse knowing technology, okay? You don't know the difference between RAM and gigabyte storage. You don't know the difference between a hard drive and a solid state drive. Don't no.
or
I disagree highly. And
you're
you're just disrespecting all the nerds out there who do
here we
this for a
go.
living.
Or how about this? Put it in a different way. I'm more optimistic of how far technology is gonna go more than most people.
You're making an educated hypothesis of the information that you have consumed within the past 2 years.
Well, like,
Yes.
yeah, like if there's
yeah.
if there's a future that lies ahead and nobody knows what's it gonna be. Doesn't matter how smart you are, how cutting edge you're at. That's why, like, all of these people have come out to predict the future in the past, and almost everybody was wrong. Nobody's accurate 100% on predicting the future.
Yes. That's the beauty of it all.
If
We don't
nobody,
know.
if nobody's able to predict the future, so you just gotta believe what you gotta choose what you want to believe in. And I rather believe in the future is a mind-blowing, exciting future rather than nothing is possible. Oh, you will never get there. All of this.
Well,
Even
I hope that I'm not giving the impression that we won't get there, this, that. Like, no, not at all.
yeah.
I just think that it needs to be more of a, not realistic, but like,
Do you believe they're gonna come out with be able to cure any disease that humans have?
sure, maybe.
Yeah, then it's the
I
same.
mean, they can't even cure coronavirus right now. Could they do that first so I can live my life?
Yeah, but technology is not there. That's like you're talking about what you have today. I'm talking about what you could have in the future. That's gonna be so mind blowing. That's like you would never imagine.
I said, sure, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt any of these innovations. I don't doubt Friedberg's innovation. I knew this was going to happen.
And
It's like, there must be a way.
yeah, I believe it's gonna happen. Like people, everything people believe in fictional novels are gonna happen. That's my belief. And even if that doesn't happen, I still believe the future is gonna happen in a way that I could not foresee. I could not understand today.
Of
And
course.
and that's why I don't want to raise my kids under my perception of how the world is today, or based on my prediction of the future, which I think most likely is going to be wrong.
I don't either, but I want to be so on top of all the innovations and learn all of the things that I can learn because I want to be just as up there as my kids. So I don't want, like, naturally my kids will know more than I will. They'll be like, "Oh, but you didn't know this. Oh, but you didn't know." I do want to know as much as they know because then it helps me further, whatever they want to get to too. So I don't want to be like how it is now, where I don't like our parents. Well, I don't know our parents, but boomers, for example, don't know how to use computers, some of them, or don't know how to use their phones, some of them. I want to be with the ones who like know how to use all of these things as it comes out. Like it's not a,
Yeah, they're older people, they don't believe online business is real business, and they don't believe
because they didn't
virtual.
take the time to understand it. Did you really think that they took the time to understand it?
Yeah, but they don't believe, or like, or before it happened, you asked them 10 years ago, do you believe virtual business is going to replace all retail business? Almost 100% of them will say no.
Yeah,
And that,
obviously, because they don't know.
and I think that's you today, regarding to people be able to print anything at no cost. You will
The
say
thing
no.
is that I don't know if it's going to be at no cost. This is my thing. I don't know if it's going to be at no cost. Will they be able to do it? Absolutely, they'll be able to do it. They're building homes just by printing these things. So I do not doubt the innovation in technology. What I doubt is the statement of there will not be any currency. I just don't believe there won't be any currency.
There will still be currency, but not how we know it today.
What do you mean by that though?
Meaning, how we know currency today is you take currency and you buy something. Like currency today is how you decide how to distribute a resource, because the resource is scarce. We only have one of these one thing, so we got a bid. Whoever pays the highest price get it.
Yeah, so always all the people at the 1% will have the best chance because they're the most willing to bid the highest.
Yeah,
So
and
to
in the
make this,
future that wouldn't exist anymore because the resources are going to be unlimited, and people are going to use currency to buy things like art, like painting, and maybe a piece of music or something, that as it's just how you buy things in video games today. It's not, you don't use that for survival anymore. You just use that as fun and to fit your personality type of thing.
sorry, but from a resource point of view, I think I completely disagree because you're saying that the resources are unlimited. Absolutely not. That's why there is like
It is
global
though.
warming is a huge issue. Like resources in the world, like water and like fresh air is a huge, like we're at a shortage. People don't know this. That's why we're going in more of a recycle everything.
Water,
Don't use bags. Like I think
water.
this is a complete naive statement. You need to
What?
yeah, you think
No.
that these resources are unlimited. They're not. The world is in a shortage of so many things right now.
Let's take water as an example. Water is H2O, is hydrogen and oxygen. We're not lack hydrogen and we not lack oxygen. What we lack is a method to be able to combine hydrogen and oxygen in that way to make water. But we don't have that method right now, so we cannot artificially create water. So we just have to use the natural water that's scarce, that's limited. One day, when we figure out a way how to make it, all of these things on the chemistry chart, the H, the N, the I, they're all virtually unlimited. They're not literally unlimited, but they're compared to our needs, they're virtually unlimited. What's limited is those elements combined in a specific way to make the material things we want today. So we gotta do them in a arcade way. When one day when we can just extract those elements and combine them in however we want and make things out of thin air, essentially, all the things are going to be unlimited.
Sure, that's a good example. What about trash and consumption? What are
Same
we going to
thing.
do about the trash issue? What are we going to do about the recycling issue?
Same
Like,
thing. Trash is combined together in certain way with certain elements. If you find a way to break them apart, they will stop being the element.
do you think
This
that there's some
their
materials that
technology,
are not renewable?
there's technology right now that figure out a way that's figuring out a way to break apart plastic and make it recyclable.
Do you think
Before,
that there are resources that could go extinct though? Because there are animals that go extinct.
only if the element goes extinct. But so far, we're not seeing that. You know,
Do you think you have enough information to make that kind of comment?
yeah, as far as all of the science knows
So
so
do you have
far,
peer-reviewed sources?
yeah, this
Please
is a
provide citations below.
yeah, this is common sense in the science world. Is is essentially like how internet or like virtual world is made up by bits. As long as you have bits, you can make anything online or like on an electronic device. And there are bits in the real world. You just don't know how to combine them in a way that to make the actual thing. Like if you figure out how to combine things, elements together in a perfect way, you can create another universe. You can create planets. You can create.
Why do you think it's taking so long for people to come up with these innovations? If it's such an easy fix.
It's not really easy fix, but in the
If it's such
past,
a logical fix,
because
there have been tons of philosophers that have gone through the world. There's tons of great thinkers in the world. You don't think someone would think of this stuff?
humans' brain is very limited. Just like a dog can be a smarter dog than other dogs, but then they cannot be human, you know? And this is a first time ever that we are touching, we're not there yet, but we're touching artificial intelligence. And
Do you think
with
it's
the,
because people are more smarter now than before?
no, it's because of the cumulative progress. Like
So people aren't smarter overall as a species.
people are
Why do you think?
smarter,
Okay, good.
but
At least we agree on something.
yeah, but very slowly. So let's say
What
we
do you
have
think will be something that will excel their thinking?
humans thinking.
Yeah.
Well, not much unless you modify human genetics. Like,
Do you think we're there yet to modify human genetics?
um, we are on the surface. You know
What
the
experience do you have with human genetics?
the vaccine we got, the HR, what's it called? HR something. I'm RNA vaccine. Pfizer and Moderna, they manipulate your genetics to make your genetics make the mistake that they are receiving virus, so they produce immunological response. So like you're tricking your genetics to produce the immune response. That's
So
like the surface level.
do you think it's good that we're going through the coronavirus pandemic right now because we're like progressing like humans thinking about things and different approaches to medicine?
Yeah, there are two things. Their major benefit is before they were stopping this, like the regulators, because around I think 15 years ago, they were experimenting with this vaccine technology, and one person died, and they paused it for like 5 years. They refused to let it progress. Now they see the benefit. They're gonna allow it to progress faster. That's the one benefit. The other benefit is now it getting everybody in the world to see the danger of modified genetics, and they're gonna care about it more and more. Just like AI today, people are just they're dismissive about it. They're like, nah, robot taking over the world, it's like 100 years away, don't worry about it. That's the people's stance before about modified virus and genetics. They're like, it's 100 years away, sounds too far away, don't worry about it, it won't kill entire human species with a virus. And now it's not the most dangerous virus human can face, but then it rings the alarm and make people wake up and be like, whoa, if we don't progress this technology and be able to cure any modified disease that come out, we might be wiped out by some type of modified disease one day.
Do you think there's such thing as information overload?
For humans, yeah. Just like if you have a low spec computer, you can overload it pretty easily. But if you have a very high spec computer, you can't really overload it, you know?
It depends on it depends on how you're using it. If you're using a high spec computer and you're not even maximizing its potential, there's no way.
Yeah, but
That's why there's software specifications for downloading it into your unit, because sometimes it's just you may think you need a higher spec computer, but you really don't.
no, but my point
Oh
is,
man.
humans are low spec computers, and you can easily feel information overload because like your memory, your CRM, all of these things are low.
The CRM,
Not CRM,
no.
RAM, RAM, and CPU. You know, all of these things that your brain is like a low spec computer. But
So
now with
what's Elon Musk's brain then? He's like superhuman then.
Joe Rogan actually asked Elon Musk about this. He said, how can you do all of these things compared to me? Joe Rogan said about himself, he said, I'm just a chimp. And Elon Musk said, I'm a chimp too. And Joe
Then
Rogan said, but you are able to do all of these crazy things and so smart. You're so smart. You have this many ideas. How are you able to do it? And Elon Musk said, I'm smart for a human, but I don't think any of us will be able to hold a candle to AI. And that's how it is. Elon Musk is probably 3 times smarter than the majority of the world, but AI is 100,000 times or 100 million times smarter than Elon Musk. It's not even in the same atmosphere.
so how come Elon Musk doesn't have information overload? He has a different, he's a different species. He's a different species of a chimp. If he's the same chimp, he just got a different chip then, different mind.
Yeah. And within the limitation of a human, a person can do that much. Imagine without a limitation, you can just artificially add more memory, more processing power, more everything into a thing, and that's AI. And with to answer your question is like why I think in the past humans weren't able to get to that point is because they don't have the assistance of AI. With a human's natural brain, we'll get there in 100 million years or something. But with AI's help, if they agree to help, we can do that in 10 years, because the AI's processing power for 10 years is equivalent of humans thinking about the same problem for 100 million years. So it's like same equivalent to 100 million years of progress for humans. Just like how you've seen since internet came out, humans progress way faster than before. Before, maybe in 100 years, humans will progress that much. Now it's 10 years because the internet exists. And in the future, with AI, it's going to be 1 second. But anyways, I think that's the information overload for our audience today. Let's wrap it up.
Information overload for me, son.
Yeah.
It's freaking heated conversation. No. Anyways, any other closing remarks, Mr. Know-it-all? Gonna raise my kids doing whatever they want. Don't even have kids yet.
It depends on how they behave. If they behave badly, they're your kids.
No.
If they behave good, then they're my kids.
Other way around. Other way around. There's no way. Anyways, you know what we say at the end of every episode. Don't be yourself.
Don't be yourself. Don't be yourself.
Don't be.
How fucked up are you?
Conversation fucked me up. Don't be normal. Be yourself. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.